Okay, so we're now going to talk about using covering images to remember things. This is ideal for learning anatomy. It's definitely not the only way to learn anatomy. I'd recommend that you do this and other things around it as well. And we can also use this to learn simple tables, as I'll show you in a bit. So, just to show you an example of how to learn anatomy using this. Here's a card about the circle of Willis, showing the blood supply in the brain. And over here, I'm requiring myself to remember the different names of the arteries. First time you do this can be very overwhelming, but when you do it enough times, you eventually get there. Okay, and I've guessed the name of the artery, and now I'm gonna guess the other ones, and then press this toggle mask and see the rest of them. Okay, so this is basically the anatomy. You can take any picture, cover whatever you want, and guess from there. Uh, the way to use it on other things, so I like to use it for antidotes for the common overdoses. I go through them and I see which ones I've gotten right, which ones I've gotten wrong, so on and so forth. This is a screenshot from a medical handbook. Okay, and again, toggle masks. Fine, so I will show you how to create one really quickly. The thing about this feature is that you will need something called an add-on. There's a special page for this on the website, all about add-ons. But for now, it's called the image occlusion add-on. You can search for it and get it. At this point, my video on add-ons is not yet created, but it will soon be created, so you can refer to the page on add-ons and see how to get this feature. Okay, but anyway, I will show you an example of how to create a card like this. So I'll go to Teach You Anatomy, really good website for anatomy, and I will choose this card as an example. Press over here, and all you need to do is copy it. And when you go to add in a card, we will go as usual. We'll choose the deck. I'll put it in my examples, and we can leave the type as close. And this button over here is the button that we're going to use. So once you press on it, it will already have the card that the last picture that you've copied will already have it here, which is quite a handy thing. First, I'm going to press fit just to adjust the size if it's too large or too small, and then I will press over here. This is a rectangle that's going to hide different things. So I will want to hide the names of these muscles of the back. So I'm just going to do that. And once I've done that, I'm not yet finished. I'm going to press on fields over here. And the reason why I'm doing that is I'm going to go to extra. And I highly recommend that whenever you're learning any bit of anatomy, that you include some clinical relevance to it, and that makes it much easier to remember the anatomy. Okay, so whether this part of anatomy can be damaged by this, or it presents as this, and that when it's damaged, things like that. Okay, and over here I can also a problem people get sometimes is that they found the card in a deck that they have not chosen. So you can go over here, press on deck, and confirm the deck where you want it to be. I'll put in examples. And over here, you can also tag it. This is something, again, I recommend doing, and I will talk about in a special video about tagging later on. Okay. So now that I've done that, so I'm just going to put it in MSK for now. Okay, and I go back, check my blanks, and I'm gonna press hide all guess one, and I'll show you what this means in a bit. But once I've done that, you will notice that I'm getting 5 cards added. Now I don't want 5 separate cards each showing me a different blank, because that will take up lots of volume. So to go around this, over here I'm coming to examples. You can see that I have 5 separate cards, each marking one of them as red. But because I don't want 5 separate cards about the same card, essentially, the way to go about this is to choose one of them and make sure you have it, and then highlight the ones underneath it and basically delete them. So you're gonna press Control delete all of them, and now I only have one card. And what you're gonna do is when you're reviewing it, you'll guess obviously the red one, and then you can see it, and then you can guess the other ones as well. And by pressing toggle masks, you can see the rest of them. So you can only do it over one card instead of going through 5 different ones. Down here, remember where I put clinical relevance again. Any piece of anatomy you learn, if you can link it to something clinical, it will make remembering it much easier, because now you have a reason to remember that. Okay, so that's essentially using image occlusion feature, and again we can use it for clinical things as well. Okay, that's all for now.